Saying that I'm excited about the September release of Bethesda's next big RPG, Starfield, is like saying Todd Howard might have exaggerated a bit when discussing the capabilities of Fallout 76.
It allows us to have 16 times the detail and even view distant weather systems across the map. I'm not kidding.
It's a massive understatement. This is my most anticipated game of 2023. And even with Hot Toddy definitely making those same kind of hype statements that I'm not entirely sure whether they're going to be true or not, I still have stayed the course, believing that this will be the biggest, most well-designed universe that Bethesda has ever created. Till today, Todd Howard keeps revealing new details about Starfield. And this one that I saw today is the first time that I've become worried about this game. So what has me worried is Starfield has been pitched to us as a giant space-focused game developed by Bethesda, so we can expect all the major exploration, customization of your character, and more to players looking to get lost in a rich sci-fi RPG experience. However, it now appears that not all the planets in Starfield will be as full of life as we anticipated. In an interview on Kinda Funny Xcast, Starfield game director Todd Howard revealed that of all the planets players can discover and explore in Starfield, roughly only 10% of them will have signs of life.
And we're pushing it, about 10% of those planets have life on them.
Now, at first glance, that's a pretty big disappointment, and I'm immediately reminded of the launch of No Man's Sky. But as a silver lining, to put that into perspective, Starfield will feature over 1,000 planets in multiple solar systems. So 10% with life means there will likely be over 100 handcrafted planets that are teeming with life, while the other 900 or so will be procedurally generated. And in Todd Howard's own words, mostly barren. The idea here is he says they're piggybacking off of the idea of a Goldilocks zone, which is a term in science used for describing planets that fall into a specific location in their solar system that has the type of temperatures that are best for developing life. All I'm saying is that if that's the way they're going to try to get around populating 90% of their planets, they better make sure that the planets that do have life fall into the Goldilocks zone or have sci-fi terraformed enclosures or something. If not, somebody will use deepfake to make videos of Elon Musk traveling to all these planets and explaining how they don't make any sense.
This is one of the great questions in physics and philosophy.
Look, at this point, I just need reassurance that these no-life worlds still have some benefits outside of just taking in the sights, building an outpost, and maybe some resource farming. One of the best features in a Bethesda game is exploring off the beaten path, walking away from your objective to check out something you might have seen in the distance. This is when some of the best random encounters happen. The ones that you remember for being like super weird or quirky or comical.
Bye.
If there's going to be no life on 90% of the planets, does that mean that we're going to lose 90% of one of the things that makes a Bethesda game? Will there still be puzzles or old underground tunnel systems with relics that you have to find? Something to reward us for searching around random planets. At another section of the interview, Todd actually did state this though.
And if you fully survey a planet, that data is actually worth a lot of money, credits in the game that you can sell. So there's a whole part of the game that's really just doing that.
So if you're flying by on the way to a populated city in a new solar system, but you see a small red planet in your path, there could be a benefit to taking the time to go survey the entire planet and collect some of its resources to potentially get some good money and maybe even get a new crafting material, like finding new recipes for alchemy in Skyrim. And when it comes to the barren planets, if they really end up just feeling almost useless after the initial excitement of discovery in your first playthrough, I also have faith that the modding community, as always, will come in and clean up Bethesda's mistakes and lack of content and use the 90% empty canvas that's been provided for them in Starfield. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see a Star Wars mod like pop up super quick, to be honest with you, turning all the empties into immersive, nostalgic locations like Tatooine or Coruscant. So now that I've had a bit to kind of digest the news that only around 10% of the planets in Starfield are going to show signs of life, I think so long as they can give us so much to work with on the populated planets while still creating purposes to exploring the barren locations, then I can understand this development choice. We still have lots coming up on Starfield before the release that I'd really like to add to our content lineup. As the first of potentially a series of videos I'm considering doing on Starfield, I'd love to get your thoughts on the game in the comments down below. That way I can really gauge our community's interest before continuing. But for now, this is not the only AAA sci-fi game that I'm excited about. This is the latest info that we have on Marathon, Bungie's first-person PvPvE extraction shooter, and it's looking pretty good too. See you there.